friends back home will roast me, dude. I'm telling you. It'd be terrible. All right. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Daincast. This time we've got a special Silver League game from our friend Tim Boyd here. He is playing the Red Terran, and he has promised me that this game is a shit show. And I begged him, I said, Tim, please send me your shit show games. They're the most fun. Embrace the shit show, live the shit show. And his opponent is going to be the blue Protoss known as Mikey Dot. And guys, I mean it when I say anything can happen here. There's no rules here. This is Silver League on North America. Anything can happen here. I am looking forward to seeing what these players go for. Tim Boyd is going to be going for what looks like a gas first. Maybe, well, it could be anything. It's gas first, and he's going against the Protoss player. He is going for a gateway at the top of his ramp. This is how you know it's a silver Protoss player, because they're walling off the top of their ramp versus the Terran. I mean, there's so much wrong with this. He's got the pylon in the wall as well, which is, I mean, if you're going to wall off, don't put the pylon in the wall, because then it's just easier to kill. I mean, what if there's a tank? What if it kills it? I mean, then you're not powered. It's okay. It's in reality, is this why you lose? No, it's not why you lose. It's fine. Not a big deal. Tim Boyd going for a pretty reasonable wall here, but it looks like, actually, there's a gap. Tell him there's a gap. It's a gap between here and here. This is not actually placed properly, so anything could just walk up. Zealots could just walk up, and the probe just walked right out the door. Don't turn around now. You're not welcome anymore. But even though you're not welcome, you can't change the locks, because there is no lock. There's just a wide open door here. The door doesn't even cover the whole door frame. You got to make sure you just nudge it over just a bit. As my dad used to say, measure twice and cut once. Although in StarCraft, you kind of don't get to measure. You just got to plop it down because you need to get it on time. I'm losing myself. So there's only one gas here from Mikey Dot, but there's no expansion. So there is no sense in this place. He's finally going to get his second gas. And he's got a cybernet score. So it's going to be a 2-gate, 2-gas opening from Mikey Dot. Someone needs to tell him that he's not playing PvP. Tim Boyd is going for a 2 racks, 2 gas play as well. So weirdly, it's almost a mirrored play from these players. They're both going for a lot of infantry units and a lot of gas. I'm not sure what they're going to spend their gas on just yet. We'll have to see. I can't wait. There is a Marine coming out for Tim Boyd. He's going to be guarding this particular area from any intruders who may wander into this particular area. And this probe looks like it's going to be planning a little bit of an expansion, and he does have the money to do it. So I think Mikey is going to be looking to plop down the old expansion here. But just as I say that, he queues up a couple of stalkers. I actually like this more. If you're going to go for the 2 gateways, why wouldn't you get the stalkers? Why wouldn't you actually use them? Tim Boyd's SCV is going to heroically attack these probes, and eventually he might actually get a kill on one of them, and this would be game-changing, you guys. Look at this SCV. He's already got 1 kill. This is a Chad SCV. He's just going to go right into the middle of the enemy workers, and he's just going to start punching them to death. And then he's like, I don't even need to keep attacking. I'm just going to stay here and wait to die because I've done my country a service. Meanwhile, Tim Boyd is focusing on his macro. He's get back home. He's making Marines. At least he never has to worry about the depots being up messing with his rally, right? The Marines are always going to be able to walk around. He's getting a 3rd barracks as well. So it's going to be a 3 racks into an expand from Tim Boyd. This is a strong build. If you get stim right away, it can be very scary. Obviously, this is probably not the optimal version, but guys, we're in Silver League here. We're just doing the best we can, and this is absolutely fine. Just go for the stim, get some Marauders at any reasonable time, and attack the Protoss. It's probably going to be good. All the Protoss has is 3 stalkers. All right, so as long as you've got, I mean, I don't know why you're attacking your own base, but I mean, just to check the armor is there, I think. The armor works. Yep, nice, boss. I'm going to go back to the ramp. As long as you got stim, I mean, you don't need to queue your combat shield, Tim. You don't need to queue that, Tim, but however, I'd rather you get it than forget it. So here we go. So we got 3 barracks. 2 of them are gonna be producing Marines. One of them is gonna be producing Marauders at some point. Marauders. A Marine is gonna make a Marine. Okay, he's gonna make a Marine now. That's fine. Marines are good. I mean, you have 2 gases, so you can definitely afford the Marauders, and Marauders are good against Protoss, but it's okay. You're just going to have a lot of Marines. You're going to have stim. This is going to be real scary, real difficult for him to deal with. Floating a little bit of gas here. Probably didn't need the 2nd gas in the end. However, I like it. You're going for a timing attack. You've got a lot of barracks. You've got a plan. This plan may not be executed flawlessly. However, I like that there's a plan. And these Marines are going to be a force to be reckoned with once they get to the enemy. Now, the thing about Mikey, say what you want about Mikey Dot, boys. Say what you want about him. His macro, not too bad. It's a little easier to macro, I will admit, when your units cost twice as much. So he's got 2 gateways, and they've been more or less constantly producing. So this is going to mean that Mikey's actually spending his money pretty reasonably. And this is looking like a pretty scary force. However, if Tim continues to make Marines and he gets Stim, it's probably going to mean, and oh, look at this. Tim is moving out before Stim is done. This is perfect. So he's going to actually hit. Is he? Oh, he almost did something brilliant. I thought he was going to hit the enemy right as Stim was finishing, but actually he's just checking to make sure there's nothing there. So he might just wait for combat shields now. And he's going to actually go double factory, double engineering bay. He realizes he's got a lot of gas, so he's going to build the buildings that let him spend the gas. I like this. So he's actually not going to worry about this plan that he had. Originally, it looked like a 3 racks push. Instead, he's going to not push and defend and go for a macro game. So, I mean, we could argue about this. We could say this is not the optimal way to do this. However, Tim has a new plan. And the new plan is going to be to make factory stuff. And oh, I like this. He's going to kill this trapped SCV. Yep. No, don't worry about it. You're dead weight. You're dead. Free up the supply. Shit or get off the pot. So now Tim is going to get his 1-1 upgrades somewhere over here. 1-1 upgrades. He's got this nice little wall here. So if, you know, anything dropped here, it wouldn't be able to get out. And he's going to be able to hit an even stronger timing now with 1-1 and combat shields, because he's got his combat shields, didn't he? Wait, did he cancel it? Oh, no, Tim. I said it's better to get it than forget it. Tim, get your combat shield. Tim. He's got 2 factories. Now, what are the factories going to make? This is interesting. What are we going to make here? Tanks? I suspect tanks. Tanks are obviously great against Protoss. Marines, tanks, they're all good units. Might as well make them. And look at this. Tim is making 2 mother flipping tanks at a time, which is going to mean that when he attacks with 1-1, he's going to have 4 tanks. And the Protoss pretty much only has Stalkers, and he does have 2 Immortals, okay? But is he making 2 Immortals at a time? Hell no, he's not. He's making 2 Immortals, full stop. He's just done. He's like, all right, I think I have enough stuff. I'm going to add more gateways. I don't actually need more Immortals. 2 is a good number. 1 is the loneliest number. 2 can be as bad as 1, but it's not when it's Immortals. 2 Immortals are great. They're pals. They both fought in the war. They're both friends for life now. They're going to just hang out and defend each other. As long as you've got another Immortal at your back, it doesn't matter. All these noob stalkers, they're fine. Don't worry about them. They can go off to their death. We'll never die, dude. We'll hold the gates of Thermopylae. We'll hold the hot gates. No one will ever get to us. Tim is playing this very patiently. I like this. So he is going to push out with a good amount of Marines now. I think this is a scouting squad. Now, we all know what's going to happen to these Marines, guys. If this were a film and we saw this, and then we saw this, and then we saw this, I mean, what do you think is going to happen here? Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. I mean, here's the thing, though. Tim could just go into the 3rd here and kill all the probes. But it looks like instead he's going to just go for these Stalkers and get massacred. So unfortunately for Tim, he doesn't really go where the Stalkers are not. But that's okay, because now he knows the composition of his opponent. And all he really spent was, you know, some minerals. So Tim has got the rest of his army safe and sound back at home. He's got 4 tanks, and actually that probably coincided with 1-1 finishing. Obviously, you usually want to hit with your whole army, but that's okay, because the tanks keep him safe, and now he can macro up another day. However, I am worried about Tim, though, because he only has 42 workers. His opponent has 3 bases, okay? And he's got lots of gateways. No upgrades, really, to speak of. None at all. And Tim's got his 2-2 on the way. So this is going to mean that there's going to be a time when Tim has 2-2 upgrades, and his opponent is on 0-0. Now, if you've never played Terran and played against a Protoss with 0-0 upgrades when you have 2-2, you owe it to yourself. Treat yourself. Get 2-2 upgrades. Even if it's, I don't know, do it against the AI or something. Do it against, and watch those Marines and Marauders absolutely shred everything that the Protoss has. +2/+2 is so satisfying to have against a Protoss, especially if they've got some Zealots in there. The Marines just chew them right up. And I'm thinking that might be what happens in this game. Tim is actually going to go for a battle cruiser as well, all on 2 bases. So Tim really showing us the flexibility of the 2-base economy. You can really just get 3 of everything, 2 or 3 of everything. Double NG bay, armory, triple racks, double barracks, double factory, double starport, triple starport. I mean, why not? I mean, this is basically, you can play like a Zerg. You can pretend you're a Zerg, right? These are your larvae, and you can just choose to build whatever you want. They don't all need to be building. You can just choose to remax instantly with whatever you want. The trouble for Tim is that he doesn't really have the economy to back this up. Now, what would work really well for Tim is if Mikey walks up this ramp with stalkers, because this is not a friendly zone for Protoss. This is a zone right here. You don't want to go here if you're the Protoss. You want to go somewhere like here. You want to wait till Tim is here and then you go here. But right now, this Protoss is going to move his entire army back because there was 1 Marine here. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to fathom that. This is how much faith Mikey Dot has in Tim's 2-2 Marines. He's going to be like, he's going to get an intelligence report from his friend. He's like, "Sir, there's a Marine at a 4th base." And he's like, "Fucking pull everything." And he's going to bring the whole Navy back to deal with that. The whole ground army, the Navy, the combined forces of the entire Republic, they're all going to deal with that 1 Marine. And he's not even going to take him prisoner. He's just going to kill him. And then he's going to leave the whole army there just in case he comes back, just in case the ghost of that Marine comes back. Now, those are some badass Marines. That really speaks to how terrified Mikey Dot really is of Tim's Marines. Now, Mikey Dot, I mean, using the Zerg analogy, I kind of works well here. Mikey Dot is just really taking advantage of the fact that his opponent hasn't expanded and hasn't attacked him. So he's just going to move out on the map here with a million. He's got a million bases. It might as well be a million, right? And the army is going to come in for Mikey Dot. Now, Mikey Dot, I think, is going to get a little taste of blood here. And he's going to want to go up this ramp, which is exactly what the psychological warfare man Tim is banking on. And this is going to be a complete... we talked about the hot gates. This is going to be the reverse hot gates here for Tim. He is going to slaughter this army. Now he's got 2-2. He's pushing out. He's actually getting 3-3 here. And Mikey Dot has no chance of defending this. So even though Mikey has a million bases, Tim has 2-2 upgrades. He's got a bigger army now because Mikey move commanded his entire army up the ramp. Lost absolutely everything. And now Tim has twice the army supply. There's no storm, but there's 3 full energy High Templars. So this is gonna be great for Tim. I wonder how many High Templar shots it's gonna take for him to kill one of these Marauders. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Marauder pop? It's gonna take more than that, and actually, with the help from the Stalkers, it is gonna get cleaned up. So Tim is gonna do a little slow push here, realizing he has an advantage. He's gonna split his forces up. He's gonna drop in one spot and siege up the other, landing the Vikings. Okay, interesting movement so far. Now he's gonna drop. I think he's gonna go for a surround here. Now this is interesting. So if the Protoss army tries to kite back this way, he's gonna face some danger. This is gonna be dangerous. Tim is moving up. He's got to be very careful here with the movement of his tanks. He doesn't want to sacrifice these tanks for nothing. So he's just going to move the army back around. Some very, very interesting army movements here from both of these players. The Archons being at the back to make sure they're in a safe position, because you don't want your Archons to be in a dangerous spot. But there's a lot of Marine Marauder here, and as long as they stim, I don't see this going badly, especially with these Archons in the very back. Okay, one Archon does go down. Look at these 2-2 Marine Marauder going up against this force. This is going to be absolutely brutal. Tim is just shredding this army. He relies on the power of a good army composition and a good upgrade. So he's going to just completely overwhelm this Protoss army. And now the Protoss is actually on 0 army supply. Tim is going to be able to kill as many bases as he wants, basically for free. And Tim's got a 3rd base now, so he's absolutely fine in the economy department. So now Tim is going to go and start killing bases one by one. Now Mikey Dot is a fighter. He's not out of this just yet. He knows he's got a lot of money. He's going to rely on the power of the Stalker to continue fighting in this game. He's going to make a bunch more. It doesn't have Blink, doesn't have upgrades, but he's going to rely on those Stalkers. Does have triple forges, which have not been used once this game, despite him having basically infinite money. And look at this from Tim. He's just going to split his army up and kill all the bases. So now he's going to finally be able to choke his opponent out, I think. So Tim has a much better army, but don't count Mikey out just yet. He's got basically infinite money, and he's Protoss, so you can never really count him out. You never really know what's going to happen here. I have to say, the army control from Mikey has not been the best I've seen. I've seen better. a couple of big Widowmine hits there are going to close the distance. And this is only part of Tim's army, and he's actually getting a pretty good trade here. Obviously, he wants to consolidate and bring the rest of his army in as well. But you can see the power of those 2-2 upgrades absolutely shredding this Protoss army. The rest of Tim's army is finally going to join up here, even with some tanks to add insult to injury. And Mikey has got to be scared at this point. Yes, he's got a few Immortals. He's going to move command onto those tanks. Tim is going to move command into him as well. It's the battle of the move command micro, but Tim now has a completely overwhelming force, and he's going to go in once again. Mikey dying with 5k minerals, 1300 gas in the bank does not feel good, my friend. However, you have to admit you were defeated by the superior human being. Tim Boyd, the salt of the earth, takes another TVP.